Hello viewers, welcome to my YouTube channel Inside Geography with Saad Rahoojo. First of all, Eid greetings to everyone. May this day bring prosperity and well-being across the world. The topic which we are discussing today is planet Earth. It's all about the basic information, basic knowledge, or you can say the key facts about the Earth. Because this topic is not only addressing to the students of different departments, particularly the geography, but at the same time it's also could be a very interesting for the general public because we are being living on this earth so we fulfill all our requirements, or we are being maintaining our life by living on this earth and using or exploiting the earth resources. So we have very close relation or contact or attachment with the earth, and we feel like it's our motherland, or it's our having a very close relation with it. So it's very important for us to understand the whole the processes, or the everything which is being connected or being related to the earth. So in this topic we will discuss the as I told you before, the basic information like the age, the size, the shape, the mineral composition, the movements of the earth. So I'll say this is going to be a very interesting, so don't go away, stay with me. I hope you will get lots of information, and the information you might have not before this lecture. So the planet Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and it's only planet in solar system which support the life. Earth is one of the four terrestrial planets with Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So what is being said? Earth is the number third planet in our solar system because we are in part of solar system, and which support the life. So there's no any other planet in the solar system which support the life. So Earth has a speciality, you could say has a credit to have a life on it. Uh, we can discuss the what could be the characteristic which are being very important in supporting the life. So we have already discussed the atmosphere, the biosphere, and the rest of the climatic components which are being the key in the supporting of life, which are being missing in the rest of the planet. So what is saying, the Earth is number third in terms of the distance from the Sun, and Earth is one of the four terrestrial planet with Mercury, Venus, and Mars. So there are two types of the planets. One are the Jovian planets, and other are the terrestrial. So one are the gaseous and the terrestrial. So the planets where the gas is dominant, and the other planets where the terrestrial means they are being rocky or stony. They are being said rocky or the stony planet. So it's a material is based on the rock. So it is the rock at the surface. Except Earth, of rest of 7 planets in the solar system are named after the Roman gods and the goddess. So except that, जमीन के अलावा जो बाकी जितने भी planets हैं, their names are being after the names of the gods or the goddess. तो उस वक्त के जो खुदा थे, या जिससे people were so impressed or having an influence or being controlled by those forces, I'll say. So they gave the name to the planets. But the Earth is the only planet which hasn't any name after any the god or the goddess. So the name Earth is derived from the both English and German words, the eros or eartha and ered respectively, which mean the ground. So it is a mixture or the combination of English and German language, which means the ground. So so the earth has been taken from the German and English language. Now we talk about the age of the Earth. Earth is estimated to be 4.5 billion years old. हमारी जमीन जो है वो 4.5 या उससे भी ज्यादा 4.5 अरब साल पुरानी है. So scientists estimated the age of Earth after finding the oldest rock to the radiometrically date in the northwestern Canada, which were about 4.03 billion years old. So the scientists, they have estimated or calculated the age of Earth by by passing through the rocks through the radiometric process, radiometric devices, or you can say techniques. So the rocks which are being found in Canada, uh, uh, according to the scientific you know knowledge or scientific results, they are the oldest of rocks on the surface of Earth. So that's why the rocks which are being in northwest of Canada, uh, the scientists they estimate the age of Earth, that our Earth is of certain time, certain period of the what is say. So हमारी जमीन जो है ना इतनी यानी कि उसकी उम्र इतनी है. So they estimated after looking at those rocks. So जब उन्होंने उन rocks को देखा और उन्होंने जब उनको यानी कि साइंटिफिकली कैलकुलेट की उसकी एज, फिर उन्होंने they reach on the conclusion that our age is 4.3 billion years old. So scientists also analyze moon rocks collected during the moon landing and even meteorites that have crash landed in the Earth. So ना सिर्फ जो the rocks which were found in the Canadian northwestern Canada, at the same time once the man reached the surface of moon, जब इंसान चांद पे पहुंचा और when he examined the observed the rocks which are being found there, तो उनकी उम्र भी वही थी. There's a similar age of those rocks which were found at the moon. At the same time, meteorites when crushed the other planets, and when they testify those rocks, so they found they have almost similar age or similar. So from that, the scientists gauge that or calculate that our Earth is 4.3 billion years old. Both of these material dated back 4.4 or 4.5 billion years. So that was about the age of Earth. Now we talk about shape of the Earth. So before 500 BC, it was thought that Earth is flat, but scientists like Aristotle and Pythagoras suggested that the shape of Earth is spherical. Later on, Sir Isaac Newton confirmed that Earth was not a perfect sphere, but compressed spheroid. So generally, the concept was that the Earth is circular. In an early stages, and the older times, people have a perception that Earth is in circular form or a sphere form, but people hadn't any information of the particular shape of the Earth. उनको ये पता नहीं था कि असल में जमीन देखने में कैसी है. But there's a concept, एक opinion था कि हाँ जमीन जो है ना गोल है, तो सभी इस तरह समझ लेते कि जमीन जो है ना वो गोल है. But then the scientists like Aristotle and Pythagoras, they suggested that okay, the Earth is spherical तो है, but it's not exact spherical or circular. वो बिल्कुल complete a circular नहीं है, but it is being compressed spheroid. So the correct technical term to be used, oblate spheroid. So somebody asks you what is the shape of Earth, you can say the shape of Earth is oblate spheroid. So जमीन की जो शक्ल है, it's like an oblate spheroid. It's not an exact or complete circular. So we'll discuss what does mean by this term. Actually, the scientific study, when you scientifically study the Earth, its age, its shape, its movement, we call it the geodesy. So geodesy is the scientific study of Earth shape, structure, and the composition. So what does mean by oblate spheroid? Earth is not perfectly spherical object. The Earth equatorial diameter at about 12,756 kilometer, very slightly larger than the polar diameter, which is about 12,714 kilometers. So if you look at the diameter, of the whole Earth, so if you are the pole areas and if you are the equator means if you are the center, and if you are the poles in both corner of whether you are in north or the south of the poles, you will find the difference of the diameter. So the diameter which is at the equator, it's bigger than the diameter which is at the pole. So what this thing shows us that our Earth is not exactly circular or being equal from all parts. I'll say equal from the all parts. So as the Earth spins, the outward force of rotation causes to bulge slightly at the equator and flattened at the poles. The difference very small, about 3/10 of the 1%. So what does mean? Means that the difference of diameter at the poles and at the center. So why this is a different? It is because the spinning of the earth. क्योंकि हमारी जमीन इस घूमती है सूरज के चारों तरफ घूमती है एक तो, और दूसरा अपने is been rotating around its own axis. So because of that spinning, it has a this type of the shape. What does mean by this shape? कि हमारी जमीन, it is being slightly compressed from the poles. So you can see from here, it is slightly compressed from the poles, and it's been extended. It's been extended from the sides. So it is being extended from the sides and slightly depressed, थोड़ी सी झुकी हुई है और साइडों से थोड़ी खुली हुई है. So this is called the oblate spheroid. इसका मकसद ये हुआ है. और ये क्यों है? It is because of the spinning, क्योंकि वो घूम रही है इतना. So now we talk about the composition of the earth. So oxygen is the most common element in the rock's earth crust, comprising roughly 47% of weight of all rocks. Silicon, so we now talk about the composition, particularly the minerals and the rocks, because you know our earth is made of different types of minerals and the rocks. So oxygen is I'll say the dominant element found in the earth, on the earth, so comprising roughly 47% weight of all rocks. So if you collect all the rocks containing oxygen, which is 47% of total material which has been found on the surface. So silicon is the second most abundant element, which is 27%, followed by aluminum, which is 8%, iron 5%, calcium 4%, sodium, potassium, magnesium, and rest are the 2% each. So Earth's core consists mostly of iron, nickel, and potentially smaller amount of lighter elements such as sulfur and the oxygen. So I'm not going to the detail of the the internal structure or the composition. I will have another lecture on that. When we talk about the internal structure of उसमें हम पढ़ेंगे, we will learn about the different what you say, the layers, internal structure of internal layers of the earth. उसमें हम we can have a detailed discussion on that the what I say, the crust, the mantle, the core, and their composition also. So the mantle is made of iron, magnesium, silicate rocks, is known as the silica, and mineral that contains silica and known as the silica mineral. So just as a general view that the different minerals are being found in the earth. Now we talk about the movements of earth. This has also been a wide subject that need more time on that. I'll also make a separate lecture on that, video on that. So we'll talk now the movement. So how earth been moving, in which direction, and what happened about that movement, and when or what is the exact period of those movements. So हमारी ज़मीन, when it completes its both movements. So basically earth is not only been spinning around its own axis, but it also been moving around the sun. So there are two types of the movement. एक, when earth is moving around its own axis, जब जमीन अपने महवर के चारों तरफ घूमती है, we call that the rotation. Rotation करती है. There's another movement when earth is being revolving around the sun, and we call that the revolution. So there are two types of the movements, rotation and the revolution. So when the moving around is 67 miles per hour. So the movement of earth is the 67 miles per hour when it's been rotating around its own axis. So the orbital period, when earth completes its rotation, so what happens when it completes the rotation period, which is almost generally people been guessing that it is 24 hours. So in 24 hours, it's complete its one what is a round, and this is called the rotational period, which is exactly 23.934.45 hours. So it's not exactly 24 hours, but it 23 and 23. So it's been closer to 24 hours. We will discuss in another video that what happens when the figure is being slightly, I'll say, slightly lesser than what we expect, the 24 hours. So This is one is the rotation. Then we have a revolutionary period, which is 365. So we feel that in 365 our Earth completes its one round around the sun, which is complete 365 days, but it takes more than 365 days. So what happens when this figure is being increased or being added? So one day is being added after every 4 years. I will also discuss in another lecture. So this is the orbitational or rotational. Rotation period of Earth is 365.254, and the rotational period is 23.49. So this is the movements of Earth. So through movements, we have through the rotation, we have a day and night, and through revolution, we have a seasons, different seasons on the surface. So tilt of axis, हमारी जमीन थोड़ी झुकी हुई है इस तरह. There has been little bit tilt. So is it been tilted 23 and a half degrees. Now we talk about the more facts. More facts. So Earth is the 5th largest planet in the universe. यानी कि it was number 3rd in terms of distance. जब आप सूरज से जमीन की तरफ आए, या if you take the series of the planets in solar system, so first we have Mercury, then we have another planet, then we have Earth. So Earth number 3rd in terms of distance. In terms of distance. So in terms of size, our Earth is at 5th, at number 5th in terms of size. So we have a different size of the planets. The distance of the Earth from the Sun is 150 million kilometer. 150 million kilometer is the what is the distance from the Sun of Earth. So you can imagine how Sun is bigger, or how we are away, from the Sun. If we would have been closer to the Sun, there could have been many things have been missing or been absent. So this is we have a very prominent, I'll say, distance from the Sun, that we have a life on the surface of Earth. So the diameter of Sun is 100 times the diameter of Earth. So if you compare the diameter of Sun and Earth, it's 100 times bigger than the Earth. The surface area of the Earth is say 51 crore. So this is the 51 crore in our own unit term, square kilometer, the surface area, whole surface area of the Earth. The Mariana Trench is the deepest place, which is being found the Pacific Ocean, deepest, यानी कि गहराई वाली जो जमीन के अंदर है. It's the deepest place on the Earth. And at the same time, the Mount Everest is the highest place on the Earth. जमीन के ऊपर Mount Everest we have, that is the highest place, and Mariana Trench is the lowest or the deepest place on surface of Earth. In terms of water, we have about only 3% water on the surface of fresh, rest is 97. So we have a 3% of the water, which is we call the fresh water, which is being used for the drinking directly, for the drinking and agriculture. But rest of the water, which has been 97%, which has been in the oceans and the seas, it is the salted or brackish water. We can't directly use them unless we have any process of desalination. So about 90% of fresh water, frozen ice sheet, and the glacier. So out of 3% the water we have, 90% water is being frozen in the ice, or in the glaciers or the ice sheets. You can imagine from that, 3% we have water, fresh water. So out of 197%, 90% of water is being frozen. So until that water has been melted, we can't use them. We can't, supply. There's no any supply of that water. So only less than 1% fresh water found in lakes, rivers, and the in the underground are being usable. So you can imagine from that, only the 1% of water, we have access on that water. We have a control on that water that we can use, and that water in the form of lakes, rivers, ponds, or in the rivers or in the underground water. We pump that water and bring out the surface of earth. So we have very little amount of water which we have access on that. Otherwise there's no any scarcity of water. There's lots of water. It also been depend what form of that water is, what taste of that water is that. So Asia continents covered. How much is the population? About 7 billion is the total population of world, out of which Asia continent is covering 30% of total earth land area, but represents 60% of world population. So if you look at, we have how many continents? We have a 7 continents. So out of 7 continents and 5 oceans, 7 continents and 5 oceans. So we also discussed on another day about the continents. So these continents. So out of those 7 continents, now Asia, continent Asia is covering 30% of total land area of the world. जमीन की दुनिया की जितनी भी land area उसमें 30% comes in the Asia. But in terms of population, Asia is representing 60% of world population. So in terms of area, it's been slightly, lesser with compared to other planets, sorry, the other continents. But in terms of population, its share is higher. So Asia is the most populated what I say, the continents of the world. So it was all about the basic facts of the Earth planets, and we will further discuss in detail these all, when we talk about the internal structure of the Earth, and we talk about the Earth movements, and we talk about the population hours. So in coming days we have a separate videos on these topics. So till then, take care of yourself. So if you like my videos, please subscribe, share, and comment on that. So till then, take care of yourself. Khuda Hafiz.